Today I want to teach you how to overcome microphone fear. Now, being scared of the mic is totally natural, okay? Don't be down on yourself. Everyone is scared of the mic when they first start. There's only a select few of your Ryan Seacrests that were born with a Shure SM58 in their hand, and they could just have great salon quality hair and go out there and crush it right from the beginning, okay? The rest of us were petrified at first, and you gotta overcome these fears and move through them so eventually you become comfortable. And these tips I'm about to tell you will teach you exactly that. Now, the first tip is know your lines. You gotta have some type of script. You gotta know what you're gonna say ahead of time. You can't wing it. MCing is a lot like DJing. You gotta know what to say and how to say it. Just like DJing is you gotta know what to play and how to play it, how to mix it. Literally the same thing. If you don't prepare, then it's gonna be the equivalent of MC Serato face, right? You're just gonna sit there and you're not gonna know what to say next. And that is a bad situation to be on, especially when you're already scared. So my recommendation to you is if you're gonna do wedding intros, for example, go online, find a bunch of examples of different people's wedding intros, pick them apart, find the parts that you like, the little one-liners you like, and then put together your own script. Figure out what you wanna say, how you wanna welcome the guests, how you wanna say the introductions, how you wanna bring in the couple, all that stuff. Figure it out all ahead of time and then write it out. Either type it out or write the whole thing out and then practice. Learn your lines. Now, if you're a really good sight reader, if you're the type of person that always read out loud in class, then yeah, you can write out a complete script and then just read it from a piece of paper in the early parts while you're doing your introductions and the emceeing. To be honest, most of us really aren't that great at sight reading. If you think you're great, you probably aren't that great. So it's better off that you memorize what you want to say and then you kind of insert certain things, right? So you kind of memorize an introduction and then you can insert the wedding party name. You can insert the couple's name and so on. And it takes a little practice. You might have to practice in the mirror, but if you truly memorize what you want to say, then you're not going to freeze up in the moment. If you try and deviate or you try and wing anything in the moment when you're not used to it or you're, downright scared of it, I mean, it's going to be a disaster. You want to know what you're going to say, nail the lines, and then keep it pushing. Same thing goes if you're at your wedding or event and you get asked to make an announcement that you weren't planned for. You don't have a line for this announcement. Well, then I highly recommend get a piece of paper and a pen and write down ahead of time what you want to say. Oh, the wedding planner wants me to announce that there's a shuttle outside for the early guests and it's leaving in 5 minutes. Instead of winging that announcement, write down what you want to say ahead of time. Even if you just write it down once, like, ladies and gentlemen, there's a shuttle outside right now. If you'd like to leave, feel free so at this time. It will be here in the next 5 minutes. If you write that down, it's going to help your brain kind of register what you want to say. And then when you go to say this announcement off the cuff, this unplanned announcement, you're going to have a lot better chance of succeeding and doing a decent job. The next thing you really got to do is always have a sound check. Make sure you check your sound, make sure your mic is loud enough, it's not too soft, it's not too hot where you're feeding back, because if you're already nervous about emceeing, if you don't do this and you go out there and something's wrong with your mic, it is going to tenfold all of your feelings, all of your anxiety, everything is going to get a lot worse. You want to just have confidence that the equipment you have is set to the right volumes and you're going to sound good so you can do those announcements with your chest out. Now, when you actually go to make the announcements, don't worry about putting on some kind of microphone voice. When you're looking up other people and kind of getting inspiration of how to MC, you're going to find a lot of different levels of this. There's people that kind of talk like this, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, right? And then, people that are just over casual. They're just literally talking like this, like, hey, sit in your seats. Everybody focus your attention over there. All right, here comes the wedding party. Make some noise, You got to find your own style, obviously, but the number one thing you should focus on, rather than trying to change your voice and make yourself sound more like an MC in your own head or whatever, just focus on enunciating every single word very well, okay? Enunciate everything. So instead of going, the dance floor is now open, or just casual, the dance floor is open, go, ladies and gentlemen, the dance floor is now open. Like, enunciate every single syllable, every part of the word so you can be heard crystal clear. You're going to be more effective that way, and it's just a general good rule to have. If you do that up front, even though in your head you might be sounding a little more robotic than you normally do in everyday conversation, you're eventually going to overcome that and get better and better, but you're going to have the long-lasting habit of over-enunciating everything when you get comfy down the road, and that's a great habit to have. Another thing is avoid eye contact. At least with me, when I started out emceeing, if I caught eyes with a guest, bad bad news bears. So it depends on you, I guess, but generally speaking, it's a good idea to avoid eye contact. Now, the trick for that is, especially if you're doing weddings and let's say you're doing introductions, everyone's seated at this point, right? Look over their heads. I would always stare at the wall, the window, the back bar, whatever was over their heads, like you kind of looking past them. And it's a good trick because number one, it doesn't look like you're looking away or looking, like you're nervously not trying to look at them. Actually, most people are just thinking, oh, you're probably just looking at the guy behind me because you're just looking over their head. But in reality, you're avoiding all their eyes. So it still comes off as natural, but you're avoiding all eye contact at all costs. And don't picture people in their underwear. That's weird, okay? It doesn't work. It's just a stupid old wives' tale. And I don't know, it can mess you up. You might see the wrong person and get the wrong picture in your head, and now, ugh. Another huge tip is you always want to direct the guests where you want them to look. Remember, when you're emceeing, the guests are looking to you for all direction. So if you want them to stand up, you got to tell them to stand up. If you want them to look a certain way, you got to tell them to look a certain way. Otherwise, they're just going to look at you. And I feel like a lot of beginners don't do this, but if they did, it would actually help their anxiety because now you're taking all the eyes off of you and directing them over where you want them to look at. So before you bring in that big ass bridal party at those doors over there, tell all the guests to direct their attention at the doors as you announce the following people and then go with it. The sense of relief you will feel once all those eyes go off of you and where you told them to, I'm telling you, it helps midway through, and then you can just take a deep breath and then worry about pronouncing those names. Which is the next thing. When it comes to pronouncing names, use phonetics. Don't try and memorize the names. Write them out phonetically if they're a tricky name. Again, you want to avoid any mistakes. I mean, if you're nervous doing something and then you make a mistake, it's just going to tenfold everything, right? So a lot of preparation here. Write everything out phonetically. Now, there's an official phonetic system that you can use, some people use. I personally just sound it out myself and make up my own phonetics. You got to figure out whatever works for you, but regardless, don't risk it for the biscuit. Use phonetics. And then a bonus tip, like just for emceeing throughout the night, like not official formalities or whatever, but just to, tell people to put their hands up, just little sprinkles of it. I want you to think of emceeing, especially during dancing, like scratching. It's basically the same thing. If you're disgusting at scratching, then you could scratch the entire time. You can get away with insane amounts of cutting, 16 bars straight of double click flares and all this crazy stuff, juggles and all that. If you are absolutely disgusting, then you can get away with doing that during your set, making it work and truly entertaining the crowd and having a successful event. But for the rest of the 99.9% of us, you just want to sprinkle in the scratches. You don't want to go overboard. It's hard to do. A little bit of seasoning goes a long way. If you over season it, you're going to get heartburn. And a huge tip I can give you for emceeing during dancing is to prepare just like you would anything else. Example, if there's a song that you play all the time, September, Uptown Funk, whatever, maybe have a part of the song where you always MC. So at this part of the song, you always tell people to put their hands up or whatever. And then that becomes part of your set. Kid Capri made this famous. He plans out a lot of his little one-liners and stuff like that. It's good to have a plan with that. That way you're not worried about when. You just get used to like, all right, when I play this song, I MC at this time. And you can even kind of preempt the lyrics as well. An example of this is like for everybody, I think in the second verse, it starts out with, now throw your hands up in the air or whatever. I always MC before that and say, hands up, hands up, hands up. And then right after I get done saying that, that verse plays and it kind of reinforces what I was just saying. So it has a little more of an effect, right? So look for that. If there's a song that's about to say hands up or about to say something, you could preempt it, MC it, you just slowly develop a routine with how you MC and when you do. It's just as simple as, you always mix these two songs together. Well, you always say that one MC line during the song. So I guess the cliff notes of this video is when it comes to MCing, you gotta prepare. Don't wing it.